Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over how to identify defenses. This is something that is super important for quarterbacks to be able to understand. And looking at some videos online, I was kind of frustrated with how the explanation was, where it was just either like a diagram or a play and not really giving you what it looks like from a quarterback's point of view when you're looking at a defense. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. And just in case anybody is here looking to learn a little bit more from a Madden perspective, this will certainly help with that as well, because I think Madden is super it's even easier to identify defense in Madden than it would be in going over some of this stuff from the Sky Cam in the NFL. So as always, if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe down below and like the video. That really helps us out a lot. And if you have any recommendations for us, you can go ahead and comment as well. We'd be happy to do those videos for you. And we're gonna hop right into how to identify defenses. So the first thing when it comes to identifying the defense, which we wanna look for is, where are the linebackers, right? And then where are the safeties? Okay, and by being able to identify that gives us a great understanding for exactly who has who, and what this really gives away by having a slot, and this would even be considered a linebacker in this case, but it's just in a nickel situation. But you can see that the linebacker is basically one-on-one with the slot, and so what you'd see typically if this was more of a zone coverage would be a linebacker there, but because we see him one-on-one here, that's really giving us a good idea that this is going to be man coverage, especially because there's a different height within the safeties. And so once we see that safety come and dip down, now we really know that it's going to end up being man coverage. And essentially what they're doing is, the one linebacker is going to go with the underneath route, and the other linebacker is, also looking for the underneath route. And so they essentially have, two guys that are almost roaming free here. And so what happens is that you can see once the running back comes across and the linebacker comes off and gets him. But either way, all these guys are going man, and then they also have a one high safety over the top as well. So they're essentially just blitzing four guys and playing man behind it. All right, so here we're gonna go again, look to see where are the safeties, where are the linebackers. So here's one of the safeties, and then here are the linebackers. Okay, this is a corner here. And so by looking at this, what we're thinking about, because the safety's so high, the corner's inside, and these guys are off, and they're in a trip kind of bunch lineup here. What we're thinking is it's going to be zone, right? Because if it was man, there would be a lot more guys shifted over here, and you'd probably have the corner being a little bit tighter in as well. They couldn't really do man either way, but you'd probably at least see some more people bumped over, and there'd be a lot more concentration on what are these guys doing out of the bunch. But we can see that because they have a lot of a focus on the quarterback, we know that they're going into zone coverage here. Ends up being like a cover 3 zone. All right, and what ends up happening is that Roethlisberger kind of looks off the safety, keeps him right in the middle here, so he's looking this way, looking this way, looking this way, gives Antonio Brown that opportunity to be able to get skinny here, and he throws a great ball right on the line for a touchdown. All right, this one's a cool one. So this is like a cover 2 man, and so what happens here is you can see that he comes across really late. It's almost a disguised cover 3, right? So he's staying up over the top here, and then at the very last second, the safety comes across, and then what happens is this guy goes and he locks in on his man, this guy's locked in on his man, this guy's locked on this man, and then he comes up over the top, and then he comes up over the top. So it ends up being a cover 2 man position here, all right? And see that, and then it ends up, just the confusion ends up, because I think he was thinking it's going to be cover 3, so then all of a sudden it being man. The guy was still wide open, no reason to miss that pass, but this is a cool one. So this is, the safety tries to kind of disguise it as maybe, some type of man or something like that. You can see that these guys are kind of locked up here, but it ends up being a cover 2, right? So you can see on this side, the corner ends up allowing the receiver to come inside, rides with him. As soon as this guy comes out, he goes ahead and lets him go, widens out to defend that. You have this linebacker who is staying underneath, this safety is staying up over the top. Then we have, the zone on this side. Tries to come underneath. Good job of bumping it here. This guy also tries to come underneath, and the safety reacts and comes over the side. And now you can see that the corner ends up breaking there on that underneath route. So he wasn't threatened at all by anything coming outside or over the top, the corner. So as a flat defender, he was able to stay underneath, and then was able to make a great break on the ball and actually ends up scoring, or no, he doesn't score a touchdown, just makes the interception. But the reason you can really identify this as a cover 2 is you can see that this safety is on the numbers, right? So we know he's going to end up having a deep half, and then by this corner being so close, we also know that that's probably going to end up being more of a cover 2 type of a situation. This looks like something where they're like bracketing over on this side, and then these guys end up running all man coverage. Again, when we go into different types of bunch stuff, notice how from that last one, when we saw like there was zone and there was an extra guy over here, now that guy is over on this side. So now we know it's man, and also look at the focus on all these guys where their eyes are to make sure that, they get hands on everybody as soon as they snap the ball. So you can see that this ends up being a man coverage here. They're both these corners are staying in their back pedal. They got these guys man on, right? This is like a bracket here. And so by him going inside, now the safety has that responsibility there. And then when he breaks back to the outside, both these guys are going here, and the quarterback's able to take a shot up over the top because he sees one-on-one coverage. Here's an example of cover 2, right? So you can see another good example to know that something is cover 2 is if, you can see those corners are, underneath, just like so, and then, actually they're trying to describe this, or to disguise it, make it look like it's cover 2 man, but then what happens is as soon as they start, you can see how this guy goes and tries to get into the middle here, right? And because of that, now it ends up being, and they added in an extra guy as well to kind of be that 5th underneath guy. So we could see 1 underneath guy, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 underneath guys for cover 2, and then these are the 2 top guys for cover 2 as well, right? And so what happens here is, he comes into his zone, so he lets him go, and then he's able to come in and then break out. This is probably a read route too, so he probably is coming in here. Once he sees that he's allowed to come in just like this and sees the safety up over the top, he's probably thinking, okay, this is cover 2. I'm going to get up to my point, boom, and then just breaks right for the corner. So that would be cover 2. And what ends up happening a lot, guys, is, especially when you get to the pro level, all these coverages almost end up being like a man coverage as well, because as you're actually looking at, how the development is, once guys get past like 10 or 15 yards, what the route's going to be. And so you either pass it off to somebody, or you know that this is going to be your guy, and, you're going to end up having to make a play. So that's one of the things that's different between like something in Madden and real life is Madden will continue to stay in the zone, and it's really easy to see what coverage that you're going to be showing when you play Madden, because a lot of times if you're playing man, they're straight up. If it's cover 2, the corners are pressed. If it's cover 3, the corners are off. If it's cover 4, the corners are off. So it's really easy to see when it's all the different coverages in Madden. Where here in real life, it's a lot easier to actually go and disguise it a little bit. This is another cool coverage. So this ends up being cover 4. It's surprising because it's 2nd and 5, and they have so many linemen and tight ends, so it almost looks like more of a run type of play, but they're still running a cover 4, and they just have this corner coming down on that tight end. So that's what makes it so they can actually run this cover 4, because they know that this guy isn't going to be able to push vertically fast enough. But they still have 3 tight ends, and they're running cover 4 here, which is typically more of a pass defense type of a defense. But you can see, that once they realize it's a pass play, he immediately goes to his 4th or his quarter. He's staying back on his quarter. He's staying back on his quarter. And then you can see that this guy ends up staying back on his quarter as well. And the reason they probably did this is because they know that in this coverage, they're either running the ball or they have this vertical play, right? So they knew as soon as this happened that this guy's going to end up going vertical. He's going to get vertical. You can even see how he's so quick to get underneath it. He doesn't do as good of a job getting underneath, though, and now he's able to go and stretch and make this nice post catch over the middle there, and ends up getting a nice little gain. Here's a play action. You can see that this is going to obviously be zone, right? And a lot of times you'll get a type of zone when you get a linebacker that's so far out there that they're going to end up running zone, especially if he's not manned up on anybody, right? So this is, to me, they're just trying to make it so Antonio Brown has more to get through when he gets off the line of scrimmage, but then they immediately go into there. It looks like it's a cover 3 right here. I haven't watched this part of the actual film, but you can see this guy's staying underneath. He's got the flat defender. He's got in the middle. And then he's the other flat defender over here, right? And you can see that a lot of these guys end up locking on pretty early on here, and you can see how amazing, Antonio Brown is here, being able to, even though he has brackets at the beginning, is able to still get that separation, come inside, fake inside, gets that flat defender to look inside, and then posts to the out, and is still able to make a completion and get yards, even though he's in double coverage from the beginning and against a zone. All right, here's another zone, cover 3, right? Look at where the linebackers are. Flat defender, middle defender, flat defender, deep third, deep third, deep third. Oh, they ended up switching guys there. So he ended up being back. He ended up blitzing, right? But you could still identify the linebackers. This gives you an idea what they're all doing, right? Getting into that standard cover 3 right here. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope it helps a ton in being able to better identify coverages. Sorry that some of the video got cut off about halfway through there. But, big thing I'd say for quarterbacks that watch this is super important for you to be able to identify defenses and influence defenses and just have a great understanding of what's going on that side of the ball, just because that will make it so you have such a better understanding of who to throw to and where you're going with the football. And it doesn't matter how far you can throw the ball or how great your footwork is or any of that type of stuff. If you can't read, identify a defense and throw the ball accurately and throw it to the right guy on time, none of that other stuff matters. So it really comes down to what are some of the nuances with being a quarterback and being great at some of these little things. And the best way to be able to do that is really study some film and get a great understanding of how to identify the defense and then know how to respond there. So I think this was a great example of what are some great ways to be able to respond to cover 2, cover 3 man coverage. And I think it also gives you a better understanding of what you want to be looking for when you get to the line of scrimmage as a quarterback. All right. So as always, thanks for watching these videos here. If you have any questions about if we do this for a service for you, you can always ask me an email down below. I don't have a specific page that gives you more information about that yet, but we will have that. But big thing I just wanted to do is make sure that you guys can get a better understanding of defenses, and we have a lot of different things that are available for quarterbacks that are looking to throw the ball further, improve their footwork, improve their overall mechanics. And so all that's down below. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those for you, and we'll talk to you soon.